2 weeks into the season, have you checked the top of the Atlantic Division standings? No defending Cup champ Panthers, no Leafs, nope. It's the Wings and the Habs. To speak to that, let's bring in Kenzie Lalonde in Montreal. Kenzie, last year the Habs had 4 wins through their first 15 games. Now, 4 wins in their last 5 alone. What's the buzz in Montreal right now?
Well, I think buzz is a great word to just describe this team in general. They're starting to get a name for themselves as the most fun team in the league right now, and I think that is a deserving title. Look, you go back to training camp, and a goal for Martin St. Louis and for Habs management was to have a better start, and they're doing just that. You look at how they've been able to come away with wins when starting from behind. Highlight reel, clutch overtime goals by players like Cole Caulfield. So with the way they're playing to start this season, that level of urgency St. Louis wanted to see, was hoping to see, is now being played out. And I think that's so exciting. And the extra piece to this is we're seeing the continuation of how they played their style at the end of last year to get themselves into playoff hockey. And they're beginning this season with that same style of hockey, using speed to their advantage and playing their best defensively sound game as possible. And the point production is there, of course. Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, they're all over the score sheet, but bringing in a guy like Zach Bolduc has added to this scoring. Oliver Kapanen is getting on the score sheet. When you cut out Veleno and Beck, there's only one player that remains that has not registered a point yet for the Montreal Canadiens. That's Jake Evans, but again, we know he brings so much more to the game than just the score sheet. It's an incredible start for the Canadiens, and I'm sure the Habs management and St. Louis is very pleased with what they've seen so far.
Listen, we can't go to Montreal and not talk goaltending. Dobish is supposed to be number 2, but after giving up just 3 goals total in his 2 starts so far, both of them wins, is St. Louis going to be tempted to use the kid more often in the rotation moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's an exciting situation right now to explore for the Montreal Canadiens. Competition's a good thing, and Samuel Montembeault hasn't had the start he would have liked. He mentioned about his game Saturday against the New York Rangers, really took the ownership on himself, just saying I needed to be better. But speaking with players like Brendan Gallagher today, speaking up and saying, look, that loss wasn't just on Samuel Montembeault by any means. It's been a challenging start. You look at Montembeault's last 2 games, he's allowed 4 goals in each of those games. He has an 8.57 save percentage right now. So certainly not the start I'm sure he would have looked for, considering so much is on the line this season for him when you think of an Olympic roster spot as well. But this is still such a small sample size for Montembeault. I'm not concerned or panicked one bit. Montembeault has helped this team far more than he has hurt this team. And when you have someone like Jakub Dobish waiting in the windows, who has shown time and time again when he needs to step up, he can execute. That's an exciting problem to have, if you will, for St. Louis. So Dobish will get the start tonight against Buffalo. But what I'm interested later on this week, Gino, is they have a back-to-back. On Wednesday, they see Calgary. On Thursdays, they see Edmonton. So if you have Dobish starting tonight, does that mean we'll see him against Edmonton? Or do you play Dobish on Wednesday night against Calgary, and then it's Montembeault against the Oilers? So it'll be interesting to see if Dobish gets some of these more meaningful matches this season.
Depth in net is a good problem to have. And I'll tell you what, the Habs are pretty fortunate they've got depth overall. Okay, the infirmary's full. No Goalie, no Doc, no Lalonde. Their depth is really being tested right now, Kenzie.
Yeah, it's tough to see 3 players like those individuals that dealt with injuries last season as well. So Goolie's ruled out 4 to 6 weeks. Doc and Lalonde are day-to-day with lower body injuries, and they were not on the ice this morning. Veleno and Beck were on the ice, and as we heard from St. Louis, there will be no lineup changes. So you have to think Doc and Lalonde will be out for their 2nd consecutive game here. And so exactly, it shakes up the forward pairings, and also it impacts the power play and the penalty kill units. So Bolduc, Veleno, and Beck will round out the 4th line for the Canadiens here. And then when it comes to special teams, Goalie played a lot of penalty kill on the 2nd unit. That opens up a door for Struble or Jackeye to seize that opportunity. And then on the power play, we've seen Suzuki double dipping, playing on both units. But what's been really fun, Gino, is with Suzuki playing on both units, we're watching him and Ivan Davidov develop this great vision and execution on the power play. So again, another opportunity for these players that are deeper in the lineup to rise to the occasion when St. Louis gives them a chance.
All right, let's talk specifically about the Sabres now tonight. After a horrible start, they've rebounded by scoring 8 against the Sens. Then they shut out the defending Stanley Cup champs 3 bagel. The Sens and Panthers may have been caught off guard, but the Habs now have to know what to expect, right?
Yeah, so in speaking with players like Brendan Gallagher today and Noah Dobson, they know Buffalo comes hard, and they have found their scoring touch as of late. So St. Louis said today they want to bounce back in the way in which they forecheck. He wasn't pleased with how the Canadiens forechecked in the game against New York on Saturday, and in order to execute and be them best selves on the forecheck, they're going to have to use their speed and play above the Buffalo Sabres. So that's what St. Louis is going to be looking for tonight, but they know when Buffalo comes down the stretch through the neutral zone, they come heavy and they come with speed. And I think that shows most on the Sabres special teams. They're doing so well on the penalty kill power play as well. So it's really going to test the Montreal Canadiens power play. But kind of as I already alluded to, we're seeing Nick Suzuki and Ivan Demidov build some chemistry here on the power play. So those two will look to execute here tonight. And when it comes to the kill as well, will Struble or will it be Jack-Eye tonight that will get the nod to play some penalty kill? So we'll see how it'll test the Canadian special teams, but the guys in the room this morning were aware that tonight's will be a good test just because of how well Buffalo's been playing the last few days.
They're not going to catch anyone off guard right now. Habs and Sabres at the Bell Center tonight. Kenzie Lalonde has joined us from Montreal.